Alright guys, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, perlawanan penentuan siapa bakal marah ke peringkat seterusnya. Perlawanan best of 3, game yang ketiga. Vamos menentang Dfyg. Sama kita saksikan perlawanan di Land of Dawn.
So if both teams play perfectly, you think BMS will win?
Saya sebut Hongkade tu hambau. Aish.
Both teams will
Duk
play
power duk.
perfectly.
Di masa depan tu bapak ya duk.
Scenario in my mind
Dapat
will
bau-bau lah
happen.
guys. Kimi kena
Dfyg.
curi.
Dfyg
Esme kau kena ambil.
and you?
BMS definitely.
BMS.
All
Ni
the way.
patch lama lagi ke? Tak tahu tu guys. Patch lama ke baru.
We will see.
Sekarang patch berapa kau kena buka ML? Tadi dia tulis dia 2.41 Sekarang
The deciding
patch
game,
berapa?
pressure is
Sekejap.
high, plans are set, and now it's all about the
Good, good,
execution.
good.
Let's
Vamos.
send it over to our casters for the deciding battle.
Cuba buka jap.
And here we are indeed in a deciding battle between Dfyg and Vamos Super Ken now on the Hayabusa Error 404 on the
Sekarang
decent
patch berapa?
The junglers for both teams. Nice to do you like what we have come game number 3.
Macam
I'm glad
tengok
we got a
guys.
game 3, man. I'll put it that way. You know, we had a bunch of sweeps in the previous 2 days. Well, for play-ins, when things are now a little more spicy, I'm
Berapa
glad
duit
we're
first
getting
place?
game 3s. And I
Sejuta
think if you
ada,
look at
guys.
both drafts, like our panel mentioned, I think you could say like, yeah, in a way, let them go to the late game here a little bit, right? If they get to the late game though, both these
Tak
lineups
tahu kan, macam mana nak check lah, aku
have
lupa
the
lah.
potential to go
Nanti je
ahead
tengok.
and shine more than the other. And a big part of Team Vamos's lineup is once again
First play boleh dapat
are they able
sejuta
to
lebih lah
utilize
guys. Sejuta lebih.
the amount of crowd
Ringgit
control they
kalau
have.
ditukarkan.
Zorn, when he played the Guinevere earlier, like he was able to do it. You know, he was able to
Bos
actually
lah,
go
price
ahead and
pool
set
ni.
things up with the spatial migration. He's very aggressive.
Lompatan Purify juga telah digunakan oleh Yo ni.
Always a fun roam to watch. He is one of those roamers that you know, people really tend to talk about or
Tengok
watch.
Shadow
when it comes to
Haya
the
nanti boleh tahu
international
patch
scene.
mana. Macam pendek.
You know, part of that too is the scaling, like their scalability.
Nah macam ni kan.
Like we've talked
2.140.
about
Sekarang patch
Kimmy
berapa
for
guys?
so long since she's been in
Ke dia
that
bagi tahu time
mid
login
lane,
lah.
for so
Aku lupa
long
lah.
now. You know that she can provide a ton of
Kau ada
damage.
kat
And
setting.
traction pulse is great. I think for Team Vamos though, it's also
sekarang
just
dia free
making sure that
recording
the
tu.
early game doesn't go to Dfyg because Hayabusa, for example, or even a better game with the Lapu Lapu for Vel could actually be quite devastating in these earlier fights, depending on how they go for it. A Dragon Form is going to be used.
Dragon Form
Zone
Turtle telah
now, Super
dimulakan.
Ken, though, from this turtle pit,
Jika digunakan oleh
he's
Zone,
able to go back,
Hayabusa
trying to
menggunakan
get Zone
ulti,
out of his
Turtle
hand, pops the
didapatkan
shower,
oleh
does
Error.
first blood.
Error digasak.
Careful,
Lompatan pada
Forward
Vel,
gives
Error
the
dia
turtle,
ditumbangkan.
but he finally falls as Vel picks up a kill.
2 untuk 1
The
nampak
trading
gayanya
across the
sekarang
board, though, an
ini.
objective secured for Team Vamos.
I believe that Dfyg are
Vel tu Vel Dora
happier
pak.
to come out of that, especially because Super Ken really outplayed Vamos. He went for the shadow, went out, and then got back in. Got a
Sekarang
kill
patch
of the
baru
sword.
pak.
That's
Diorang
the
dah bagi
first
tahu
blood.
ke? Aku tak tahu.
And I think that's well worth it in exchange for the turtle, especially from a jungler's perspective. And the bonus that they got from that is to be able to kill Error 404. Like this time, we can see Zed utilizing this Hilda properly in a way that he was able
Boleh tengok
to.
kat App Store
up the
ML. Betul
damage
juga
and
App
figure
Store.
out. There were so many baits that the Dfyg were able to do in that exchange. I would still feel though that Team Vamos has got an easier lineup to execute, especially because this last pick, Esmeralda, again has so much value.
Betul,
Really,
caster
that's
pun
the
faham.
We already know that. But then you add in the Harith as well as the Hilda. Natko will have a
Post
great
ini
time
boleh jadi
later
game
on, and
mudah
that's
untuk
something
Vamos
DFYG
menangkan
should be
draft
prepared
ini.
about.
I mean, part of that too is, again, if you look at Team Vamos' lineup, you know, what can you take here for the Valentina? The most value over here is probably the Black Dragon form, or what else could you take that actually would help Dfyg's case when it comes to having a Valentina?
Ah, betul lah patch baru guys. 2.140.
Just
Patch baru
Just
tu.
the Dragon form, no?
Dragon form. Yeah, but problem is if you overextend, it can actually work badly for you. So you gotta be careful there if you're
Kalau apa harus cakap
E1.
third party tournament, they can control
yeah, right.
the patch used.
And Super Ken is still very impressive with his jungle though.
Yeah, I think of this too is just the amount of time that we're seeing it take for a Harith to build up now, scale up. I would say majority of these Harith games that we've been watching now for the past couple of days here, Wolf, it's I don't know if we're still gonna
Turtle
see
kedua
Harith
telah
pick
dimulakan
up a
sekarang ini
ton
dari
as
pasukan
the,
Vamos. Tiada kontes yang dilakukan oleh Dfyg kerana jungler agak sedikit jauh terlambat. Mungkin ada perangan kat sini. Ion ni menjadi tumbangkan cantik. Black Dragon Form digunakan. Lika. Digunakan oleh lapu-lapu melarikan diri. Hanya Valentina yang ditumbangkan. Rotasi satu lagi guys. Itu je lagi ni sebenarnya ni.
That's the problem with somehow a double-edged sword to copy the usual ultimate because you're fairly weak and you don't have the double dash anymore for the Dfyg. That's why he was knocked down even after popping the ultimate, and also didn't have the purify. That's why Team Vamos have picked up a great kill. In fact, Vamos are leading with 600 gold. As we mentioned, they have an easier lineup to execute. Natko already has the enchanted talisman. It will take only a while before we get to see him with the Oracle, which then makes it so that Dfyg will not have enough of a firepower to eventually take out Natko.
Error cuba uncutting lane.
Now they really need to make a play, otherwise Team Vamos will just easily take over this game.
We'll see what happens. They know it's just
Shadow.
a very small lead for now. Dfyg still
Lompatan.
potentially can turn it around here.
Terkena.
Not letting that play out a little bit further. So, I don't even. I think for the third turtle, Dfyg, if they can kind of get into the position where they have a favorable one, and maybe that's a kill off of Super Ken if he's able to get.
Ultimate Hayabusa error nampaknya menjadi ditumbangkan oleh Hayabusa. Siska daripada belakang menjumpai Yone, nampaknya Yone menjadi ditumbangkan. Boleh ni tumbangkan apa ni?
And Super Ken's pretty low, so they might still put pressure on the purple buff here.
Lompatan kena. Long menjadi ditumbangkan, double kill dapat kali Siska. Dapat ke atas bawah boleh ni antara dua ni. Tower, objektif lu. Dapatkan duk atas Siska. Jungle dulu kat si. Pergi tengah Dragon Form ke? Belum. Okay, dah pelaku guna ulti. Flicker terpaksa digunakan. Ken guna Shadow, guna ulti. Zon bakal ditumbangkan. Ken tak ada Shadow. Di shutdown oleh Yuzong. Cantik. Betul, sekarang ni dia mulakan.
Might not have the Yishin now, but
Error, ambil buff lah error. Jungler dia pun tak ada. Kau lepak lu.
Good man. 4-0-0. He's gonna scale up so much.
Okay, mari. Tunggu Yuzong tu dah ulti balik. Sikit-sikit lu. Panis bawah dulu pun boleh duk Harit tu. Harit tu sedikit offside tu bila Dragon Form digunakan. Ada flanking. Aduh, error mati. Yone dicari oleh Siska. Siska menggunakan Petrify. Harit down. Vel down. Masih lagi menarik tali guys.
This turtle still for the taking, but Super Ken will go grab his buff. Klakun picking up that sky.
Asal tak duk jati dulu. Tak tahu duk. Ini yang kau faham tak? Ini yang lost, faham tak? Kau tengok kesudahan dia lost turtle. Atas tadi tu supposedly boleh dapat tapi tak dapat kan? Kalau jadi kalah turtle, jadi kalah satu tower. Rugi duk ni. Objektif kurang jelas. Bawah dapat. Okey. Kalau tak nanti kan, kalau dapat tower tu awal-awal aku rasa diorang terpaksa cover dua lane. Senang masuk bahagian tengah nanti. Puslia ultimate. Well menggunakan ulti.
Punishing Long once again. Long pop the Salmon Force in front of the Esmeralda. One of the capital mistakes
Zone pick off
against the Esmeralda as the Harry.
Masih lagi hidup. Shadow digunakan oleh Hayabusa.
And that's why we see that Esmeralda pop up so much, from draft to draft. Teams really leaning towards Esmeralda, whether that's in the gold lane or XP lane. Like, we've seen both. It's just kind of annoying to deal with, and you kind of have the freedom to do what you want in a way until the proper items or that, enough of that burst is there to deal with an Esmeralda right now. But the fact that you have an Esmeralda this way, but then at the same time, Siska is having the game he is on this Yuzong is really difficult to win some of these fights, depending on how it actually breaks out. And like I said, most of them are happening here with Super Ken.
Oleh Stamun tidak terkena pada Natko, lapu-lapu masuk. Lompatan cantik. Vel bakal ditumbangkan.
Falling here in the mid lane, getting caught here. That's
one of the things you have
to watch out for.
Ni atas yang boleh press ni. Mid lane, cover kejap Zon.
Get out of there. Zorn picking up where he left
Okay,
off.
tak apa. Dah ada
Game
Siska
number 2, it
dengan
wasn't
Klokun.
as clean as game number 2, but Team
Dapat
Vamos
ni atas
are
ni,
slowly
sumpah.
finding steam once again, leading by 1,000 gold. They already zoning out the members of Dfyg.
Dapat atas. Okay, atas
they
dapat.
can actually push it.
Wave cantik.
It's gonna be the turn
Ha,
down.
cuba tekan sikit bagian jungle ni betul-betul
Look,
pergi lot.
press down to Super Ken, but Super Ken might be forced to pop the
Nice Tamun.
retribution. No, he won't. And
Dapat kena curi duk. Zon dapat buff biru.
His purple buff. You see, Team Vamos are pressuring Super Ken to pop the retry so that the Lord fight will be in their favor.
Yep.
It turns out they get even more of that because now they get the purple buff on Zorn.
So he can just go ahead and spatial migration a little bit more here if he doesn't land the one he wants to. So this is actually a pretty big
Lot
risk for
sedang ditarik.
Dfyg to go ahead and start playing around the extra grass that they have here, the extra bush. They'll keep Zed there on the Hilda. At least try to control this space here against Team Vamos. And like I said, even with this kind of lead that Team Vamos
Oi,
has,
lompatan
2,000
terkena kat atas
gold,
Vel
jump
lagi.
from
Motor
Zorn.
shocker dibuka.
Requiem gonna
Dia
be
ke belakang.
used
Black
as
Dragon Form telah digunakan. Vel menggunakan flicker melarikan diri. Vel menggunakan ulti melarikan diri.
Down, a sliver of health, and
Oh, nakku menahan 3 di bahagian belakang. Cantik. Lot sedang dimulakan.
hold up that front side. This is an opening now for Team
Opening ni.
Vamos to go ahead and
Hayabusa pun kena
secure
tutup
this
dengan Siska
sword,
tu.
and somehow, some way, Super Ken can get in position to potentially steal this. He does jump in. Gets thrown
Dalam
into
maret guys.
there.
Nasib baik kalau aku dapat Udo Gang. Sumpah lah guys. Prezi yang dibagi dah cantik tu. Error kenapa begitu mainnya?
Game once again with
Bapak
this
bahaya
huge
siau.
Lord secures
3,000 golik dipegang oleh Team Vamos sekarang ni. 11 balas 5. Bapak ah.
Team Vamos out of the trap. Dfyg sprung it so easily.
Bapak
They know
bahaya
that
lah siau.
eventually when the Lord is too low, Dfyg will
Ni kau tengok balik.
everything just
Haya dah
to
kena
get that
zoning.
retribution up.
Lot ni possibly boleh dapat sebelum Haya ni ulti tau. Sebab dia dah kena tutup dengan Yuzong.
Of course, the shadow kill, but because of that,
Baik kalau aku
you can see that
dapat, gila.
Team Vamos were so much prepared. The stun was already waiting in the wings. They know they have the.
Dia nak
number,
tarik
they know
tali
they
macam
have
mana
the
lagi kat
control.
lot tu.
And then, not only did they get the Lord, they
Bapak
also get
bahaya
the
tu,
kills
suka
on
bahaya.
top of that, increasing their lead to 4.6k at just
But it's okay,
11
still dapat.
minutes in.
4,000 golik.
Might even be able to push the bottom lane turret easily.
See how they handle
Paling stamon.
this push with the Lord. Again, both teams here facing elimination right now through Games of the Future, and Team Vamos with a healthy lead in this.
Joker Black Dragon Form
in.
digunakan.
They might just win
Dapat
it,
ni,
even off
dapat
the
ni.
first push.
Dapat,
Dragon
reset.
Form gonna be used by
Okay,
Siska
gerak.
just to keep them at bay. They secure themselves
Yeah,
that
mid
base turret.
turret dapat.
Now knocking down at the tier 2 in
Joker
mid.
dah buka.
They still have the work to do up top as well, so Dfyg will
Pakai
go ahead and
atas.
defend, take out the Lord. And Team Vamos, despite this lead, will take things a little bit slower just to stay disciplined, take out these tier 2 turrets, potentially take some base turrets down too, or at least do some damage to them. But right now, they're just happy with the one push down on bot.
12 minutes and you get the
Nampak, dah menang ni.
A big reason
Kalau
to be
tak
happy
menangkan
with Team
game ni,
Vamos, but
rugi.
Job's not done yet. They really need to secure this. We'll be waiting for 70 more seconds.
Jungler kena
for the
kacau.
next
Siapa guys kan? Kenapa
spawns.
macam susah
And I
hidup
think
ah?
the next
Error.
target now
Game.
for Team Vamos is to deny that purple buff away from Super Ken. They have positioned their pieces around it already, just waiting for
Yalah
it
hidup.
to spawn. Eventually, the Yi Sun Shin will get to that position.
Per game ni pah.
While
2
that's
ke?
happening,
Game ketiga guys.
Zorn is
Sekarang
actually
skor 1
scouting
sama.
out where the FYG members are.
Kejap lagi. Homeboys.
They have, I mean, even for
Homeboys lawan what ni guys?
To the position from Esmeralda, the extra push.
Verso.
Dangerous grasp.
Harap-harap menang lah guys Homeboys.
Natcos, though, he's going to be fine. Again, there's so much this Esmeralda can do. You know, it doesn't really, like, if you are going to wait patiently in one of these bushes here, the dangerous grass, like, Natco is the guy to go give the information. Doesn't necessarily have to be Zoran here, and that's one of the advantages of having this Esmeralda on this lineup. You know, you can kind of do this all day, man, and that's what Natco...
Hilda apa kacau error? Hilda
Very
Dia kena tekan dengan Hilda
Every single time that you see these gold laners do get a chance to play the Esmeralda, maybe it's a little freeing for them. Like, they're like, okay, yeah, I
Right,
get to
look,
play a
kudu.
very different game than what I normally do in the gold lane with a traditional marksman.
Tak sedang dimulakan. Tiada kontes diberikan. Zon nampaknya bakal dipanis mungkin kat sini. Zon masih lagi hidup. Pancingan yang sangat cantik. Membeli masa. Lot mudah dapatkan. Okay, reset.
Distraction. They'll just go for the reset, get ready to march towards the base here of Dfyg once again. And I don't know, Wolf. I think, you know, with this case,
Yang workshop
in
kata
game
mesti
3,
mengkabutkan keadaan
7,000
bahaya ke?
behind, and really Super Ken's kind of initial advantage that he had on the high boost, especially early on, has
Kena
kind
lock
of
waktu
waned a little
objektif
bit.
lah.
And now
Hilda seorang je
you're
ke lock
looking to
dia?
see where that,
Yang aku tahu Hilda memang sakit lah
what
guys.
his
Tu
contention
pasti
is
lah.
gonna be with this composition,
Dragon
and
form.
unfortunately, Long just
Ini
isn't
belum
there
masuk tu.
yet.
Iska.
Black Dragon
Oh,
form
dia
gonna
pergi
be
atas.
used, pushing them
Kalau aku
off this
masuk,
top
Vel
base
bakal
turret. So
ditumbangkan.
Lord has to be dealt with on the bottom.
Purify telah digunakan oleh Valen. Vel down.
Is gone. So
Dah
quickly once
masuk.
again, Lord finally being
Eh,
worked
mid
on.
wave
He
duk.
did clear out the
Aduh.
wave. So Dfyg, just with the health or just with the life of
Ni macam
Vel,
okey lagi.
they stay in the game off
Okay, nak
that
aku
Lord
tekan bahagian
push.
tepi.
They still
Boleh
have
dapat
a
mid, boleh dapat
few
atas gak, duk.
pushing
Sumpah, sumpah, sumpah.
waves. Powered
Boleh
up
ni.
for
Boleh
Team
Stamun.
Vamos. They're gonna go for
Nak
this
ku dah
mid
zoning
turret.
Harit, dia tak boleh keluar
Not
damage.
keeping
Ha,
the
ni.
cut off from that turret, and Zed
Mati. Cantik. Zon beli immortality. Vein of Nature dia beli. Oleh Kimi. Red Dragon form. Baik tu guys ni. Alamak, shutdown. Siska down. Terlampau deep. Deep into the ocean. Lawan lupa dia kau nak Avi je.
That's enough for Team Vamos to just get out of there in this elimination match. They're literally one win away from advancing into the quarterfinals, and seems like they are leading by so much that they can afford to prolong this game even further. And to be fair, I would agree. I think
Oh, nak aku. Zaman force dibuka.
Has to get away from this, though.
Ultimate daripada Hayabusa. Flicker terpaksa gunakan. Kalau aku terpaksa buka Vein of Nature. Vel masuk menggunakan Flicker. Kalau aku terpaksa ditumbangkan. Tapi ada trade yang dilakukan. Aku rasa tadi kalau aku tak sepatutnya mati guys. Nakku terlampau deep. Ada apa kat situ ah? Kenapa nak aku pergi situ ah? Oh alamak, error kena shadow. Meninggal error. All the way mistake. Aduh guys. Kenapa boleh jadi begini?
Oh no, Team Vamos.
Wah.
Overconfident, overstaying as well. Getting outplayed, outmaneuvered in that part of the map. They definitely did not expect that death push.
Disiplin duk.
Now they have lost all their core members. They lose their outer turret in the
Sabar
mid
duk.
lane.
Wah, goal lead ni terus jadi kecil lah balik guys.
For another push, but the defense
2000 daripada berapa ribu dia 6 eh. Oh sayang.
U1 might not be enough to get a push.
Mati ni, Purify dah guna.
I has to get away now.
Black Dragon form digunakan. Zaman force juga telah dibuka. Belakang kena kejar dengan tu. Siska. Balik. Wah rugi tu guys. Oh tapi Supercan down. Oi peluang nasib baik Supercan mati gila. Baik. Lock peluang cerah. Jangan bagi dia tekan balik. Bapak. Mereka dah bermula dengan gerakan-gerakan tambahannya.
Dfyg are already outplaying Team Vamos. In fact, they have forced the Dragon form. They have forced the immortality onto Clock.
Dia orang datang bunuh duk. Dia tak ada retribution duk. 5 lawan 4. Sumpah. Black Dragon form. Dia kena cari. Bunuh tu. Bunuh je. Buka orang tu. Ada 2 naga guys. Lock reset. Dia orang datang bunuh. Okay cantik. Reset. Come on. One more push. Era ni kena beli winter ni guys. Takut terkena lagi kan. Best berapa buat? Best of 3.
Now, I gotta say, for Dfyg, they tried to buy the time for Super Ken to be there, and almost were enough time, but Vamos making any extra movements out there, just focusing on taking
Extra movement.
and punishing whoever
Arab
is
ni
in
guys.
front. Did not
Dia pun
overextend
tahu
to
guys,
get a kill
extra
onto
movement.
U1 as well as Long, because they know that they can end this with just raw power. Just, you know,
Alright,
really
push.
they've
Sekarang
got
ini
the
adakah
3,000,
dapat
but this is more than doable.
mengendkan game ini atas confirm
Might be
dapat
able to
jadi
push up top, and
3
then
wave push.
the last push.
Penahanan dilakukan oleh Vel. Black Dragon form telah pun dibuka. Nakku cuba menutup Lung. Era masih lagi hidup. Ada immortal. Lock di clear. Z ditumbangkan. Vel juga pasal ditumbangkan. Nakku jadi ditumbangkan. Immortal sempat dibeli. Era membeli rose gold. Era. Oh yo. Merunduh. Masih lagi 5 lawan 3. Boleh end dok. Sumpah. Regen jap. Tak balik. Tolong. Peluang cerah dok.
Not letting up.
Tapi hari ada
This
ulti.
is an elimination match.
Jiska ada
Super
Petri.
Kings throwing everything.
Ini dia orang ada Purify.
Almost have one against Onyx
Wah
yesterday in the
risky juga
30-minute
tu guys.
match.
Shadow.
I'll not be surprised if they can prolong this even further. You can see the heart from Super Ken. Let's see if they can defend for more. Team Vamos
Dengan form, Zon.
They do get the Purify out again. A Black Dragon up to lead them all.
Teman force dibuka nak ko. Tak boleh balik. Tak boleh balik. Member tak boleh balik. Sabar.
Going home so easily. They'll take it past the 20-minute mark here in Game 3. And Team Vamos is wondering that too. Like, man, we're so close so many times, but we can't end it. Even with all the base turrets of Dfyg down, they still hold on.
Fortunately, no battles for Natko to save himself out there. Team Vamos.
Yang kena kutip je, duk sabar, duk bagi 5 man balik, sabar jap. Korang menang tower gini. Mini wave korang menang. Tower menang lagi. Sabar. Jangan mati, jangan ada terciduk sudah. Winter Crown dibeli oleh Valentina.
When he is up once again, and I think the Team Vamos can actually afford to lose their top lane turret. They have all of the lanes pushed naturally because just
tidak terkena.
And if they don't make any extra moves
Zon masuk, Black Dragon Form digunakan. Flicker digunakan. Petrify. Black Dragon Form, okay, Valen down. Win dapat seorang. Motor pecah Val. Nakko cuba cari Harip. Flicker juga telah digunakan. Nakko seorang diri. Mountain Shocker. Hilda down, nice. Tinggal Val. Semua damage ke? Boleh ni. Ayah pun dah shadow. Peluang cerah dapatkan lot.
What a play coming out from Team Vamos. Instead they should not be doing
Harip
any extra
beli
moves, but they have
concentrate energy.
identified that there's no threat. The land, Hayabusa is in the bottom lane. It will take a while before he gets there. He knows. Siska knows that with this Warcry built on the Yuzhong, he has a one-hit potential against E1. He's now only rocking the
Dragon Form, Mountain Shocker.
Again, Siska gonna lead that front. Black
Okay,
Dragon form,
retribution.
Zel jumps in with the bravest
Long.
fighter. Summon force drop down two. They're gonna clear this out. U1 looking for an ultimate to take. He's just gonna go
Shocker,
in
Val.
the terrifying
Flicker dah.
Go at bay, and now Vel trying to
Long ni boleh ni, Long ni boleh ni.
once again.
Long.
Defensive
Mati.
items
Eh, dia boleh
being
immortal.
Oh, he picks up an immortality just in
Kurang
time
boleh
as well.
tumbangkan.
He's gonna heal back at the fountain.
Lot hidup lompatan, Flicker daripada Zon berjaya menangkap Hayabusa cantik. Hayabusa down, Immortal Zon pecah. Val down. Terror beli Winter Crown. What the hell man, tak boleh end lagi tu guys. 2 lawan 3.
Was a massive play coming out from Zorn. I thought it was instrumental to the victory of Dfyg, but if you think about it, the Hayabusa is not that important when it comes to the defense.
Stress pula aku guys, tak boleh end ni.
And when they tried to go in, all in, they got caught into the backlines with Vel dealing the damage, and as well as Valentina. Valentina, we have already forgotten how much damage this mage can actually deal in a team fight, and we are reminded of how strong a Valentina could be, especially when he's dealing AoE damage. Yi1 salvaging this team, and Super Ken might
Harip
have
kuat
been a
lah pak.
great time for
Aish,
Team
memang
Vamos,
kuat
but
lah
they
guys.
They were so tunnel vision into taking down that Hayabusa. The moment that Zorn caught him, and everybody from Team Vamos just went in, took the beeline towards where Super Ken is. And what generally happened was that we're clumped up together. Vel managed to land a good ultimate combo, dealing enough damage to an AoE, and then of course E1 was there to play.
Ni dah late game tu guys, sumpah.
Man, look at the items here. They're like, there's so much juggling between these, these winter crowns, the wind of natures, of course. But hats off to Dfyg staying into this game for multiple minutes now, 8+ minutes up to this point. When Team Vamos first entered the base. And you gotta remember
Try lompat.
they were
Aduh.
at 1 point down 7, almost 8,000 gold.
Kalau aku lompat dah guys, bazirkan Purify dia kan.
The gold doesn't really matter at this point. It's more so of just switching in those defensive items when they need it at the right moment. But what
Lompat, pancing
Dfyg has
gerak.
been able to do is stay in the game and now
With
actually
Vamos menang ni,
position
ini bahaya tu guys. Ni dah jadi lot
contest
50-50 tu.
Lord. The biggest thing
Kalau
for
tak
them is
tutup
they
orang
don't
betul
wanna
kan.
get caught in a position they don't
Bahaya
want
tu.
to win.
Dah late game ni
What's
macam-macam
awesome
boleh jadi
again,
guys.
that
Daripada
is
kalah boleh menang,
Siska
menang pun
for the
boleh kalah
most
kan.
part, right? Siska and
Good
Zorn.
display.
They gotta be
Zorn
careful.
and
Nakko
Zorn and Ken.
menerima damage agak banyak. Zaman force dibuka, Flicker daripada Nakko. Hayabusa ulti kan.
Super Ken takes out Nago.
Flicker error kena cari. Immortal tak ada, Winter tak ada. Tak standby. Wind of Nature dibeli oleh Klokun. Wah sumpah guys, mistake by mistake ni kan. Bapak rugi betul guys. Draft menang. Wah GG guys. Wah jelek guys. Jelek.
Kills for Dfyg, and with a
Oh,
full
no.
force team, they can run it down mid.
Tak boleh
With this
disiplin
wave
jujur.
pushing in. This is massive. What can Zorn do?
Oh,
But just
no.
watch. A
Buka-buka
shadow
yang tak
here
perlu duk.
with this wave
Wah,
pushing
ruginya,
in
ya
and a
Rabbi.
full team.
Tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, kita terpaksa akur guys di comeback oleh pasukan Dfyg guys Nampak gayanya Vamos dihantar pulang. Awal rata. 2 balas 1. Nice untuk Dfyg. Vamos kena cuba lagi guys
Oh my god, the Winter Crown to eliminate the team Vamos. What an outlay. Oh,
Ya Allah guys,
Dfyg.
dah late game pula tu. Sayang 1000 kali sayang. Jadi korang jangan lupa untuk like, komen, share bagi pendapat korang pasal game kedua ni. Yang paling penting korang jangan lupa subscribe guys. Good game untuk Dfyg. Pasukan Vamos kena lebih
So long.
banyak improve-nya guys.
Comes Dfyg.
Let's go.